Hey guys, I just thought we'd take a few minutes this morning and go over some information to help you set a budget for your roof replacement. For a lot of people, a roof is a really big investment in your home, a fairly large expense for many people. And so just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about what can influence those costs and how to get a budget together for replacing your roof. So there's three things that can impact the cost of a roof replacement. One is material, the other is the complexity and the pitch of the roof, and the third item is any underlying or additional issues that might need to be addressed along with the roof replacement. So the first part of that is the material. Most of the time when we're talking about roofing, we're talking about replacing the roof with dimensional shingles. GAF has the HDZ shingle. This is the #1 best-selling shingle in the country. A lot of different color options. This works really well for many people. That's typically what here at Property Revolution we're using as kind of a starting point. There's also different upgraded shingles with different performance factors. Atlas has the Stormmaster Shake, a little bit more of an investment than the HDZ, but there's some pros to the shingle. And then from there, there's designer shingles. And then there's also metal. So the material that you pick for your roof definitely influences the cost, and there's quite a range in those, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. Another big part of the cost of your roof is the complexity or the pitch. So if your roof on your home looks fairly straightforward like this, just basic rectangle from the end of the house, you can see it's not real steep. Someone could walk up there quite easily. That's going to be on the lower end of the price range because it's just a really straightforward project. If your house looks like this and from the end of the house, you know it's really steep and you can't imagine yourself walking up there, that's going to influence the cost as well and make the cost to replace the roof a bit higher. And then the other issue or the other item that can influence the cost of your roof are any underlying issues. So many times we're working on older homes and they've been roofed with maybe cedar shake shingles in the past, and then someone else came along and put another layer of organic shingles, and then someone else came along and put another layer of shingles. All that material has to be removed, which definitely adds to the labor and the disposal of the project. And it does happen at times that we run into something like that. Another issue that we uncover at times is if the roof's been leaking. Sometimes water gets in there and can damage some of the wood. Or if it's an older house that was built a long time ago, sometimes we need to install new roof decking, which is the wood that goes under the shingles. There's also skylights and chimneys, so there's a few other factors that we would consider. So to get an exact price, we would want to send someone out to your home to do an assessment and give you a quote. We can usually do those on the spot. But for today's conversation, we're talking about how to kind of get more to a budget number and know what your roof approximately is going to cost you. One easy way to do that is you can go to our website, www.mypropertyrevolution.com, and we've got a little interactive tool on there called the Instant Roof Estimator. You can outline the footprint of your house, answer a couple of questions, and it will give you a rough estimate with several different shingle options. It's a great way to get a budget idea for your roof replacement, or you can do the math yourself. One little tool that I like is if you go to Google, type in roofing calculator, one of the first hits will be calculator.net. If you go to that website, there will be a chart that will help you convert the square footage of the base of your house to the square footage of the roof. So when we're installing your roof, we're ordering materials based on the surface area. And so to get a budget together, it's a good idea to figure out what the square footage of the roof is going to be. So the way to do that is you look at the chart, and if your house has a basic pitch like this one, we're going to convert the square footage of the house using the guide. And so say this house is 1,200 square feet. We would take 1,200 times 1.054. that equals $1,360. And then I would, $1,260, I'm sorry. And then I would actually round that up to 1,300 square feet just to be safe. So that 1,300 number is the approximate square footage of the surface of the roof. And so if we're looking at shingle roofing is going to range from $5 to $8 per square foot, depending again on complexity and different things. So if we want a rough budget for like a more basic home, I would say take that 1,300 number times 5 equals $7,500. So $7,500 is approximately what that roof would run you. Again, there are some other factors that we would need to consider, such as second layers, if there's a chimney in the house or any skylights. But this is where this would be a really good budget number to keep in mind when you're thinking about your roof. If your house is more complex or steep, or you think there might be additional layers, maybe use the $7 or $8 figure to figure out a budget for shingles. Now metal is going to run you $8 to $12 per square foot. We could do a whole separate video on the different types of metal and the pros and cons for each one. But a really good budget number would be $8 to $12 per square foot. So if you take that 1,300 square feet times, just say $10 per square foot to be in the middle, we're going to say $13,000 would be a good budget to keep in mind for replacing a roof that looks like this with a metal roof. Again, these are rough numbers to help you know approximately what you're looking at. If you want an exact number, we'd be happy to send someone out to your home. They would do an assessment, check for the additional items that might be a concern, measure out the roof, look at all the factors that need to be considered, and we can usually do a quote for you on the spot. If you have any other questions, feel free to let us know.